Alright, so welcome back to Whitehouse Farm. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be replacing the wheel bearing on our Tahoe. We noticed we were driving it and hearing some noise from it, and we're going to show you, we already checked it, but I'll show you a way to check it to see if you have a bad wheel bearing. So my wife's going to go ahead and jack it up here. Alright, so you can take your tire at 9 3, and I don't know if you can hear that or not, but you could also see it. It shouldn't move. If you got a good wheel bearing, this won't move on you. So you'll be able to feel it move. So there's a lot of play in there. You can hear it clicking almost when you go back and forth on it.
Yeah.
So that's why we're replacing that today. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so we want to remove this nut, and it's going to be a 1 7/16 on here. I'm using a 3/4 inch. And we want to put a screwdriver in here to keep this from spinning. My wife's gonna want to do this. While we're waiting for her, we'll go ahead and these 3 bolts where your hub assembly is, 1, 2, and then there's a 3rd one on the other side. Let's go ahead and shoot them with some PB Blast. And there's the other one down there. All right, so here you go. Finish her off.
What am I doing here? I messed up.
Just take it off. I already got it loosened up.
Oh, so you,
No, you got it.
Right.
Just go ahead and take it off. There you go. Get it all the way off.
Okay.
And then go ahead and, there's a washer in here you gotta get out.
Okay.
All right, so now we can remove this. And what we gotta do now, we gotta go ahead and remove the caliper. And there's 2 bolts on here. You're just gonna remove the entire caliper. So that bolt right there, and then the bolt down here.
So we're going to use an 18mm to remove the caliper bolts.
All right, one down. Get the bottom one.
Okay, got the second one out. Now we can go ahead and remove the caliper. Now we're going to remove the caliper and secure it up here to the spring so that it doesn't fall down and nothing breaks.
There we go. And just pull that right off. Be careful, it's heavy. And now set it up.
It's really heavy.
And we're gonna secure it up here so it doesn't fall. All right, so now we're gonna disconnect the ABS, and there's a little clip up here, right here. They pop out and it unsnaps right here. You can unsnap it, you press this down and that'll pull right out. Then you pop that clip out. Same thing here. We want to pop that little clip out right here. And then one more down here. And this one you can use a flathead or needle nose, get on both sides and pop it right out. So we'll go ahead and disconnect that now. See, and that just comes right out. All you do is press down on that tab right there. All right, you can use a set of needle nose or dikes or whatever you want. Just get up under the plastic here, and those should pop right out. Yep, just like that. So we get that all off. And then this last one. All right, so we got the ABS all disconnected. Now we can go ahead and, all right, so now our next thing is we're gonna take out this little screw. Need a torque bit. So let's go ahead and get that at.
Okay, I'm gonna use a T30 torque bit to get the screw out here.
All right, now that she's got that off, we can go ahead and remove our rotor here. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and remove the hub assembly here. And we've been soaking these down with that PB Blast, so let's go ahead and remove those 3 bolts, and we should be able to hopefully get this off. Hopefully it's not too rusted in there, otherwise we'll have to hammer it off. So we're gonna use a 15mm to get the 3 hub assembly bolts out. All right, got that one out. Let's get the other 2 out. All right, one more. All right, there's the 3rd and final bolt. And that's why it's always good to spray these ahead of time with some PB Blast. Makes things a lot easier. All right, so the last and final thing, we'll go ahead and get this little tap here, and hopefully we could pull this hub assembly off, but I know it's not going to be that simple. All right, go ahead and try and pull that off. All right, so it's on there pretty good, so let's give it a couple wraps on here. We're replacing this, so it doesn't matter.
What?
All right, it's gonna take a little more than that. I was just seeing if she could pull it off. All right, so sometimes you gotta try and drive a screwdriver, flathead or something in between here to help loosen it up. So you see, you've really got a wrap on it. Now you can see it's starting to separate. Sucker's rusted in there pretty good. All right, there we go. So we'll take our dust cover off here. And you just want to remember how this goes on here. You have your, if you're taking this off, you want to make sure when you put it back on, you run your ABS back through this hole here. And then there's, let me get that out of the way. This has like a lip on it, and the lip goes towards the inside here. So you really want to clean all the as much rust out of here as you can. Just clean this up a little bit, and then when we put the new wheel bearing on, we're gonna grease this outside here, put some grease on there. So let's go ahead and get that done. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and clean this whole outside part here, get all that rust off. All right, so now that we got that all cleared out, we're gonna go ahead and install this, the new wheel bearing, and there's the part number, and it's the Napa Proformer. So let's go ahead and get this installed. All right, so here's the new one. Nice and shiny and new. All right. So like I said before, we're gonna go ahead and put some grease around here. All right, so that's greased up. All right, remember to keep your groove, your lip facing inward. You're gonna go ahead and feed the ABS wire through here. And now we're gonna go ahead and get it back on the spindle here. Okay, so now we got it lined back up and it's on the spindle. Let's go ahead and put the 3 bolts in the back. Just get all 3 in and then you'll snug it down. Don't do one and snug it. Do all 3 and then snug them all down together. So this piece right here is just gonna snap right into here, just like that. And then my wife's gonna run the other ones up there and then connect it. Yep, so that's together now. And now we're gonna put it in those 2 holes back there and just press it down and it'll snap right in. Yep, there we go. All right, so the ABS line's all hooked back up. We got the hub on. We just need to go ahead and torque this down. All right, so we got it, our torque wrench here. We got it set to 133 because that's what the 3 hub bearing bolts are here. So let's go ahead and tighten them up. You're almost there. All right, so that one's done. Let's get the top one done here. There you go. You're gonna get it.
Giving birth disease here.
Yep, you almost got it. Oh, you almost got it. Make sure it's on a little bit. Oh, pull back on that sucker. Hang on, buddy. You almost got it, man. So close. Go forward with it a little bit. Make sure it's on there all the way. You got it. You got it on this one. Put up more there. Yep. All right. You got it.
Okay. That was fun.
Okay, so we got the hub assembly on. We got the 3 bolts in the back torqued up. So we're ready to go ahead and put the rotor and caliper back on and go from there.
Okay.
All right. So you just want to make sure that you line up your safety screw, your little, with the hole on there. So we can go ahead and put that back in now. Now get the wrench and just tighten it up a little bit. So we got the screw back in. So now let's go ahead and put the caliper back on. All right, we'll go ahead and put our 2 caliper bolts back in. Okay, so we got the caliper back on, got the 2 bolts on. Let's go ahead and put the washer back on here. We'll get the nut on here, the axle nut, and we're gonna torque it down to 177 foot-pounds. You can hand tighten it and then start tight and then now you can see how that's sliding, and we're going to do the same trick we did when we were taking it off. We're going to go ahead and stick a screwdriver up through the slots of the disc brake here. We're going to stick a screwdriver up the slots in the rotor. Go ahead. So we got the caliper on, the rotor back on, got the new hub assembly on, we got the nut and the washer on, we got it torqued down to 177, ABS is all hooked up. Last thing to do is throw on the tire and then take this for a test drive. Also, while I was in here, I noticed my upper ball joint is starting to look a little rough here, and the outer tie rod and possibly this lower ball joint. So stay tuned for future videos of outer tie rod, upper and lower ball joint too, probably coming soon. All right, so like I said, we're probably gonna put a new tie rod on, probably do the upper and lower at some point. But let's go ahead, while we got the tire off, let's get some grease in there.
On this thing?
Yep.
Looks different.
Good?
Yep, it's coming out.
Yep. Just pull it off. Get the top one.
Good?
Yep. And then get the one on the bottom. All right, so we got the hub back on here and everything all together. So last thing to do is take it for a test drive.
Let's go.
So let's go. All right, so no noises. It's driving nice and smooth. We do need to replace that outer tie rod because that will be trouble. And then the upper and lower ball joint. So stay tuned for future videos on that. But she's driving good, stopping good. Wheel hasn't fallen off. So I think we're all set with this part here. But we'll see you back at the house and let you know how the whole test drive went. All right, so out with the old and in with the new. All right, so the test drive went great. Everything's working like it should, and no noises.
Nope, not a bad job as long as you have the right tools for it. And stay tuned for the tie rod and upper and lower ball joints.
All right, so we'll see you. So once again, make sure you like,
subscribe,
hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one. We did it. Bye, guys.
You can't say goodbye without saying goodbye to me.
All right, Olaf. We'll see you on the next one. All right. Bye, Obo.
Bye, guys.